Hey everyone, and good morning and welcome back. Today we're going to be doing our very controversial review on the Anastasia Beverly Hills Subculture Palette. Honestly, I had no idea what was going on with the controversy. I received my palette, I purchased mine with my own money, received it on Wednesday, and I did not have time to film it. Finally got around to looking at some YouTube videos, and it was flooded with reviews on the palette, and to my surprise, most of them were negatives. So I really want to go into it with a very open mind. Now, I do know that these palettes are supposed to be very, very pigmented. As I was reading from the Anastasia YouTube channel, you know, Norvina was talking about that this is a completely different formula, so I needed to keep that in mind. The other thing I do know about this palette, just coming right on into this, is that it does have a lot of kickback, which for me is not a big deal because I feel like the Modern Renaissance also has a lot of kickback. Lorac Pro palettes have a lot of kickback. You just have to be a little more cautious with those palettes. So we're gonna touch it together. I just wanna see what it's like. I do wanna actually put my finger on it because everybody says they're super pigmented. Wow, look at that. I barely just touched it and there's already so much product. Let's see, look at that. Wow. Let's go in with Adorn. I gently have to just touch my finger a little bit more, add a little bit more pressure to Adorn, but still super, super pigmented. And then I really, really want to test out, what was the other one? Everybody is bitching about New Wave. Oh, that's soft. Holy moly. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take our brush. I'm going to be using my Morphe M518. And I'm going to just gently press the brush into the product because I've been told that you should just gently touch it. And then wow, do you guys see that? I think my plan is to do kind of like a bronzy look and then maybe add like a pop of color on the lower lash line. I really want to use Adorn, I'm going to use Fudge, New Wave, and maybe a little bit of All Star right in the crease, and then I'm going to go on my lower lash line with a little bit of the green and then maybe a pop of color with like Electric or Q. I don't know. We are going to actually prime our eyes first. For primer, I'm going to use the same primer I use every time. It is a Max at Paint Pot in Painterly, and then after I get done doing that, I'm going to go in and set my eyes, and I like to set my eyes with a little bit of translucent powder. So let me go ahead and prime. All right, you guys, so my eyes are primed, and I zoomed you guys in just a little bit more so that way you guys could see what is going on here. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna start off with a Morphe M521. It's just basically a big fluffy blending brush, and the very first color I'm going to go in with is going to be, let's start off with Dawn. Let's build up. Let's make sure that this is gonna be safe. So I'm gonna go in with Dawn. Just gonna take a little bit. Ooh, a lot of fallout. That was my fault. And I'm just going to start on the outer corner and work it inward. You know, for the color Dawn, even though it's really light in the pan, it comes off really nicely. I mean, I can already see the color there. All right, so far so good. There's like basically nothing on my eyes, but we're starting off pretty good already. Okay, so we're gonna go in with the color Roxy. I'm actually gonna start off with Roxy first, and then after Roxy, I'm gonna go in with All Star. So let's take just a little bit, make sure that it's coated, just one little dab. Start off on the outer corner. Wow, holy shnikey. Oh my gosh. All right, so that there is Roxy on my eye, right in the crease area. I have no issues so far. I did start off and it got a little bit darker here, and then I'm kind of fading it inward. But if you slowly apply the product, I'm finding that it's easier to blend out. So I'm gonna go in with the Shadow Shield now, and I'm gonna put them underneath my eyes because the next color I'm gonna go in with is All Star, which is that dark maroon color. And I'm just gonna assume that it's gonna have a lot of fallout, so. Moment of truth, everybody. Just gonna, one little touch right there, dab, light pressure, and go. Guys, I'm really nervous. Okay, maybe that was too light. All right, so here is All Star. This is probably 3 applications of All Star on the lid, and the only thing I found that I had to do more of with this palette is blend more than anything. So it's a little bit of color and a lot of blending, but I am not seeing any patchiness or anything. Right now, I see nothing, and I'm very happy about that. So let me try the other eye real quick. Now this eye should be interesting. Okay, so now I have this eye done. This eye is a little bit warmer than this eye, but I mean, it's fine. So what we're gonna do next is I am gonna go in with Rowdy, which is the darkest shade in this palette. It's right at the end. And I'm gonna take it on a much smaller brush, and what I'm gonna do is just put it right on the outer corner, see if we can deepen up that outer corner just a little bit more. Crease just a little bit with concealer, and I'm going to go in with the shade Adorn. I don't have any MAC Fix Plus or anything, so I'm just going to take it right on the brush that came with the palette, and we're just going to apply it. I feel like I have to add a little bit more pressure with this Adorn shadow, but it's coming off really nicely. And then I'm just going to go in and blend those 2 colors together. I have no product on my brush. This is just what's left over from the brush. I don't know, you guys. I really like this palette so far. I mean, it's really nice. Now that the complete eye look on the top is done, I went ahead and I put on some liquid liner and some false lashes. Now we're gonna move into the lower lash line. I did go ahead and I applied a little bit of Milani's liquid pencil liner into the waterline. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go in with the color Roxy. Do I wanna go in? You know what? Let's go in with New Wave, because I haven't used New Wave. We're gonna go in with a little bit of New Wave. Oh, that's a lot. And I'm gonna apply it on the lower lash line. This color is so different. I've seen so many people talk about how this color comes off much more like a mustard shade. And it's doing the same thing on my lower lash line too. Almost like I have dirty lower lash lines. On top of that color, we're now going to go in with Access, because I haven't played around with this color yet and I want to see what it's like. I'm going to take it right on the lower lash line, and I'm going to be using the brush from the Anastasia palette. So just dip in. Now we're gonna move into Ice Cube. We're gonna move into Cube, and I'm gonna put that on the inner corner. I'll be honest with you guys, when I saw Cube, I wasn't really excited about it. To me, it's just not something I normally would use, but it's the lightest color in the shade, and I can see where if you use any of these 3 colors, you do wanna blow off on this color, because I can see the kickback really changing the color of it. So let's see. Not really seeing it. It's gonna take a little bit to apply. I'm like literally having to swirl my brush into it to get any color on. I don't see it. Do you? I don't know. Okay, so not a fan of this Cube color. I don't see it on my eyes. I think it accentuates any darkness I have around my eyes, so definitely do not like that color at all. So probably just gonna end up going in with Vermeer from Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette. Let me get it. So that there is my first impression using the Anastasia Subculture palette. I will say that I am mildly impressed with the palette itself, and I think the problem with that is that I've already had this internet influence of what the palette was going to be like. So that is where I think the biggest problem is that you've already seen so many negative reviews that you have this preconceived notion that the palette is going to be really bad. I wish they would have spent more time educating people on how to use this palette and kind of teaching them that this palette is not the way that you use other palettes. But if they did, then I just didn't ever see it, and you know, that's on me. Although I feel like with the consensus of the way that everything went down with this palette, I feel like a lot of the people who received this as a PR did not really get the memo, like, hey, don't use it the way that you use your normal palettes. This isn't like normal palettes. It's completely different. It's a completely different formula. And we hear it all the time. We hear people say, oh, we hear companies say, oh, this palette is a completely different formula. It's a better formula, blah, blah, blah. But I've never had a formula like this palette. So when it comes to fallout and kickback, I don't know if you guys noticed, but when I was doing the first impression, I didn't have a whole lot. I mean, let me just show you guys really quick. I'll do a close-up, but I'm just going in each one, and I'm just going to press the way that I did with every shadow, and my kickback is not very high, but I do know that if I go like this, like I normally would with other shadows, the kickback is tremendous. So the way that I used it, no kickback. The way that I would normally use any other palette, like an Anastasia Modern Renaissance, I would normally go in, and let's say we wanted to take a Buon Fresco, I'm gonna go in like this. I mean, minimal fallback.
Colors, like the brick. And
you like the colors?
Yeah.
Would you wear it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know, right? It's super pigmented.
Which you have? The green you have in the bottom? Which one?
That's one. This access one.
Yeah. And which in the right of the crisp?
This one.
The bunch.
Yeah.
And you put a little bit?
Just a little bit. Like, look. Take this. Look at how crazy this is.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, which is good.
Yeah.
And this one is the same?
That's the Modern Renaissance.
But it's the same Anastasia?
Yeah, it's Anastasia. But it's
more pigmented, that one.
Yeah, way more. I don't know if you guys can hear, that was my mom. Honestly, she has no idea that I was filming her, but she really likes it, so that there are my final thoughts on the Subculture palette. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Please let me know your guys' thoughts in comments about this palette. I want to know if you guys purchased it or are you guys scared? What is your guys' idea on it? And you know, anything you guys have to share down below, please always leave it down in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. I do have a couple of other reviews coming up, especially foundations. I have quite a few foundations to be testing out here. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys all later. And if you guys haven't subscribed yet, please make sure to do so down below before you guys leave. You guys can also follow me on social media. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and Facebook, all at Steph's Beauty 05. And I will see you guys all in my next video. Bye.